This is the chef server triage for the 28th of Feb. We are going to get started with a new issue that has come in, or reasonably new, and then go to the much older ones. Setting attribute node chef server except license true does not work as we expected.
Okay, I see.
Oh, so I don't think we allow this attribute to be set for chef server. So I don't know. Does this mean that he wants us to add it?
I think, okay, so I guess the first question I have is this functionality that lives in chef ingredient, or is it functionality that lives in chef server? And the way I'm reading this is it's functionality that lives in the chef ingredient.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be interesting to see if the chef ingredient stuff even has a thing for.
Yeah. Maybe it's a documentation thing. Maybe it's.
Well, and it's interesting his in follow-up thing about
makes
the
makes it look like.
README. Just curious.
Oh, okay. Chef ingredient. Okay, there might be some clarification of documentation required here. I'm looking at the documentation for chef ingredient, and it does say that. It does not say that it can be used for chef server. So I think, I don't know if that the run is failing somewhere. So he wanted the license to be accepted, which means I guess his run was not successful. But this says that it is not applicable to chef server. So I don't know if he's saying, okay, maybe add the functionality in, or he's saying,
I think okay. I think this is most likely a bug in chef ingredient.
Yeah.
If I'm just reading the resources for server, and I almost wonder if it's maybe even a name issue because so it's the resource is called chef server, but the file we want to lay down is chef infra server. And so I'm wondering, I'm just sort of super quick trying to
look at the code there.
Read the code and see if I can figure out what's going on here. And I'm betching that the accept license code takes the resource name. No, it's not even that. There is literally a list of what it works for, and this is not on the list. So this is a feature request for.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's a feature.
This is a feature request for the chef ingredient cookbook. So I think we should either move this over to the chef ingredient cookbook or open a issue for there and link it to this one.
Wait, we can transfer this, can't we?
I think so.
Yeah, see? Choose a repository. Can do chef cookbooks. No.
Chef cookbook, chef ingredient, yeah.
No.
We may not have privileges on chef ingredient, or you might not.
Then do this for me, please.
Well, let me see if I have privileges on chef cookbooks. Um,
I'll link you the issue if you don't have it already.
let's see, hide the issue. Boy. I'm gonna need to do a dance with this. I'm sorry. Let's let's
That's
uh
okay.
let's
We can do this after.
yeah, let's for the moment just we can after this we can open a new issue for
Yeah.
in chef ingredient. It looks like
So I'll just leave a comment here.
we no longer have owner rights on everything in the chef org, which is probably
Yeah.
a healthy thing.
Yeah. Like, with the chef. Open. We won't close it until we actually
Yeah,
create the issue.
yeah. Exactly that thing you just said.
Okay, we've on page 5.
All right.
This still looks like a label I'd put.
Let's see which one are we looking at next.
Trying to see if you've looked at this. Maybe we should start from 653. Actually, let me make sure this was a recent change. Oh, I used the word recent loosely. Yep. Okay, so 653. Put policy groups, group policy name. I
Yeah.
feel like closing this.
Mm-hmm. In the end, this boils down to a feature request for policy files to do
Yeah,
more validation or updating, right?
yeah.
I How do we handle things that are feature requests that we need to bounce off a product?
Mm, we have labels. Product needs to prioritize.
Yeah.
And then we say feature request. Aspect correctness.
I don't think it's a correctness thing. I don't think there's anything incorrect about it. It's
I don't know. Like it's silently not doing the thing that you would expect it to do. That sounds incorrect, right?
well, it's does it match? It was explicitly the design. I mean, Dan's arguing that that was his specification, and so the
Yeah.
implementation matches the. So that's why I don't think it's a correct. I don't know.
What were the other ones we put? Component type aspect. I think we're gonna let it be this for now.
Okay, that seems.
But I was very tempted to close it.
By the way, I noticed just to go back that 676 is still listed as untriaged. That is relaxed name validation. Is it? Well, it looks like we triaged it. Do we just want to? Is there a reason why that has to?
Which one did you say?
676 release. Yeah, relaxed name validation. I think
Oh, no.
we.
Yep. We've triaged this. I missed getting rid of the label. Sorry. Good catch.
All right.
Okay. 651.
Mm.
This is actually a good one.
Yeah. I mean, this is a chef server or a manage thing? I want to say this is a manage feature. Because, I mean, okay, the things I know we use email for are org invites,
Organ, right?
password resets, and all those things are really heavily mediated through the manage web interface. I mean, we have an email address in the chef server. I mean, I don't know. I could be totally wrong here.
No, it seems like a managed thing.
I mean, I'm trying to think. Oh, there we go. Their OCID uses it. That's where we do email. Is OCID. I'd forgotten about this. Yeah, so OCID emails things. So we do have a chef server usage of email. Action mailer. Gosh. So yeah, a pre-flight flight check is probably a good thing. I'm not totally sure what the best way to check if a mailer is available. I'm not trying to implement this, but it does seem like a reasonable pre-flight speed bump sort of thing. I mean,
There must be something which is not too hard to figure out.
the detect, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's one of those things that with a little bit of internet searching.
Yep. It's why I put a medium on it.
Yeah. I mean, I suspect what you do is end up looking at the Ruby action mailer gem and finding out how it gets to email and just following that along.
Right.
So, um,
Do you want to add some aspect to it?
I don't know what subsystems component OCID just to capture that. I mean, in OCID, I don't know. I mean, OCID has kind of been
Ever
I think
eluding.
we've been wanting to rewrite or rethink for ages, but haven't ever gotten to. So Chef Server, yeah.
Fair enough.
Oh, why can't it? Yeah, I was going to ask. Huh. Well, that reference to why it can't be part of the chef package is not not there anymore. Um,
No, I was wondering why I was thinking about sync in terms of chef server itself with the dev end. So, no.
yeah, I think
I agree.
it's
Either document it or
add it.
add it. So either documentation or feature request.
Yeah, it's
Documentation.
another pre-flight sort of thing in my head there too. I think.
Do we have anything for pre-flight? Maybe just call it chef server cuddle
Omnibus packaging
or omnibus packaging here.
is the way.
And there is a product needs to prioritize thing in this.
Yeah.
Nginx status settings not working. Oh, 12.5.1. Okay. Okay.
6:33.
Least I can do is put aspect documentation in this. Was this a known bug in class I1? Like, I
Yeah, I would say we need to just. This is a documented.
yeah, or
Um,
even try reproducing maybe.
yeah, I mean this is against 1251,
Yeah,
which and this is back in 2015.
yeah.
So we need to.
This is our first Nginx. Chef 12.3.0 settings validation. Okay.
Okay, there's a Zendesk ticket attached to this. Disconnect. And this one was again, with when we get this, when we get the things this old, I
Yeah.
think there's going to be a validate thing just to see if this even makes sense anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, this becomes another pre-flight-ish sort of check. Is I guess the way I would think of this as a feature where the pre-flight walks through um, all the IP addresses that have been listed in the config and says, "Are you a real IP address?" Or maybe even
Yeah.
um,
There are
yeah,
some valid
Zendesk
things there.
Zendesk ticket number is it's been a while.
Yeah, so looks like there was something happening with their RabbitMQ. So they did have that issue initially, but something was not okay with the RabbitMQ config. So they deleted that bit of the the config part, and then they reconfigured to get the right config, and then everything started to work.
Okay, so
Okay,
basically,
so they did have to do something. So this was incorrect. Like this shouldn't have happened, but it did. So they got rid of it and did a reconfigure, and then it worked. So yeah,
yeah,
this is an issue. Okay, cool.
from the ticket, it
Yeah,
looks like in particular, RabbitMQ has to have an actual IP address, not a DNS name. Um, I don't know if this is specific to RabbitMQ
yeah.
or
It's
if
the configuration, I guess, that we should check.
well, so okay, I'm wondering if RabbitMQ in particular has to have an actual IP address as opposed to a DNS name. Because, for example, Postgres, we can give it a domain name.
Yeah,
You know this. Thanks, Lincoln. external Postgres works just fine with the domain name. External everything else. RabbitMQ may not. Um, so part of me is like, is enforcing it to be an IP? I mean, it's a RabbitMQ bug or a
Yeah.
bug with our packaging in RabbitMQ, and if it's only RabbitMQ that's affected by this goes away when we get rid of RabbitMQ.
Right. I just wanted to make sure, like one thing that he specifies here, um, isolated reconfigures or reconfigures run as a part of an upgrade to fail when I have not changed my chef server RB settings. I know that this is specific to Rabbit and it's failing because Rabbit might not be accepting an FQDN and might just need a valid IP. Like this specific issue might be RabbitMQ, but
Mm-hmm.
in the broader sense of it, I don't know if there is something that we could say like, oh, but like this was the value that was supported, and instead of just throwing a random, okay, this didn't start up error, you say, okay, we got this value from your chef server.rb, but this is not what we were expecting, sort of an error. I guess that would be a more valuable
Yeah.
output to the user. Might not be specific to this case, but it can be derived. So like I was thinking of putting RabbitMQ and Omnibus packaging here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it looks like from reading the ticket in
Yeah,
Zendesk, sorry, too many Zen things.
yeah,
Um, in Zendesk, what may have happened is they did a version upgrade, and I believe this version upgraded to RabbitMQ 334,
yeah.
and either the RabbitMQ no longer took a fully qualified domain name with the upgrade,
Needed
which
an
is a,
IP. Right, right.
and so, um, yeah,
So I can maybe put this under stability, right? When somebody does, or portability? No, stability. Or UX.
um,
Or packaging.
so
No, this is not the packaging. It's the output that the user is seeing.
what action do you think we're going to take at this point on this?
Uh, my hope is when we come back to this, we will verify. Like I guess we will try to throw better errors for values that are being taken from chefserver.rb is my hope, is what I would like to take away from this.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what actionable change we would make to detect those errors. In that this feels like this was RabbitMQ changed what it accepted in a long, long ago version, right? And and what we did is we
Right.
failed to anticipate in our omnibus stuff that RabbitMQ made that change. Um, so not there's probably not many bugs. I mean, outside,
Like this. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, outside of RabbitMQ, which made this change years ago, all our other
Yeah.
stuff seems to be okay. And so this, I would, I don't know. I'm almost like I would almost argue for a
Closing this.
closing this with a, uh, we're moving away from RabbitMQ. This bug seems to be specific to a RabbitMQ version change. We're moving away from RabbitMQ. We're not going to fix this.
Yeah, well, that is true, because by the time we get to this, we would have moved away from Rabbit.
Yeah. Um,
Okay.
and the product triage time. I can I feel like by the time this even gets into product triage point,
Yeah,
the answer from product will be
we are gonna get rid of rabbit.
it's not going to make it over the bar before
Yep.
we get rid of that revenue queue. Is my
Yeah.
guess.
The roadmap to get rid of rabbit and queue. Is this okay enough?
The closing. I might say closing this because our roadmap is planning to get rid of Rabbit MQ. Near-term roadmap is to get rid of Rabbit MQ.
I like near term. I didn't want to put a date, but I like near term.
Well, yeah, near term is just a matter of if near term, if we're like a continent, could be a couple million years, right? So geological near term.
Get rid of rabbit. Is this
I
correct?
just replaced the word ahead with is.
Ahead.
Just make it
That-
is. That's, I think, close enough. With the caveat that never trust a native speaker on grammar, at least of English.
619.
All right, 619 source RPM. Okay, so this they want.
We do create RPMs, don't we?
Not a source RPM. Source RPMs let you rebuild everything from scratch.
Oh.
And yeah, so they're trying to build Chef server. So that again, I'm going to argue for closing this one.
I don't think we are ever going to do this. Yeah, I would agree with you.
We're not going to generate source RPMs. If they're having trouble building it,
They have another issue here.
yeah.
So are you saying not now? And they say not now. So they're not seeing this issue. They're seeing another issue which has a ticket. So I'm going to close this.
And the other one is closed too.
Like we will be.
Yeah.
RPMs. Yeah, open. And this is the issue in the install, no, builder. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the last issue on this page, and then I can move on to the next page. 617.
I would. Oh, I don't.
Enable HTTP basic authentication.
Feature request.
It's a feature request. It's a feature request. Oh, okay. So there's one thing to say, hey, I want like OAuth or auth2 type auth for Chef server, which is a full up protocol, a decent authentication protocol, and stuff like that. HTTP basic. Oh, I wouldn't want to support HTTP basic just because it's technically I don't think that's a great choice.
I, I will, and it's not the direction that we are taking as well.
I mean, I want to basically, boy. I mean, I guess you could have a user and password for everybody, but then I don't even know how you'd handle clients with HTTP basic. I mean, I suppose you could bash in users, but boy, yeah, I I understand why they don't want to write. I mean, the our auth method is very hard to implement. I know people who've even recently had lots of fun trying to get an implementation of the signing algorithm for their own API stuff.
So also over a non-SSL connection, does basic auth like the password would be sent over the wire, right? For basic auth. So like
If you're, yeah,
if you don't have a encrypted connection, like I don't know that is the direction we necessarily want to go in.
I mean, you can do basic auth over HTTPS, is my understanding.
Yeah,
It's
fair
just
enough.
it's just not a scheme that I think we want to. It's not a direction we'd want to go. I don't think we have a.
Maybe
I
I
don't think
can
we have
just
a use case for it.
yeah. So I can say although that could be an interesting option, it is not the direction that we are planning to move in. Hence closing.
Yeah, or maybe say that why we are open. Um,
What if the guy wants to do a PR on it or something?
I'm not sure we merge it. Like
I would have to do some real careful thinking about how to do it right.
yeah,
Is I guess my reaction.
we we could put it in the queue about a thing to talk about with product just to make sure that we universally want to say no to this. But I am not very inclined.
I think HTTP basic. I just don't. I mean, I'm going to put my finger on the scale here from a technical perspective. If we're going to do the work of doing another auth method in Chef server, we
Yeah.
would do something like OAuth2 or something that
Yep. Exactly.
supports a broader set of use cases than the basic auth.
Yeah. And I think we would go in the direction of becoming automate infra server instead of
Well, yeah. I
a
mean,
new direction.
yeah. I mean, that would be our road to probably doing OAuth2 would be through automate. But yeah.
Right.
And anyways, I don't think I would try to just say, I mean, it's it's just not something I think we want to do and
Yeah.
be nice about it. But
This is good. option to have it is not in our future plans to move towards this account for chef server. Of course. And since this is very old, I'm not pinging people.
Yep.
Okay, how are we doing on time?
I have time.
Okay.
I mean,
Lincoln, are you doing okay on time?
Yeah, I have no meetings or anything like that to get to, so I'm available.
Okay.
well, this is interesting. Let's see. I mean, it looks like we may have added this functionality, but
This seems similar to the, I'm not saying it is the same, but it seems similar just by the looks of it. Was it, no, it wasn't max connections. It was the time taken. Well, and then that's why we had to bump the max connections when we were trying to get this to work in Azure. I think one of the things that we needed to bump was the timeout and the connections. Maybe. Yeah. Yep. We have a PR that would add this.
okay. So this chef server. oh, that's funny. This is a PR I wrote.
Seems you're runs all right.
Boy, this is horrifying that I.
Sorry to put you on the spot like this. We don't have to look at it.
I think this should be investigated. I think we should follow through on this and make sure that. I think we need to do some checking. Either if this doesn't look like this PR merged.
No, it closed because the tests were still failing and there was no movement.
Yeah. Yeah, let's revisit it. It looks like it could be a relatively quick drive-by. And let's sort of
Where is Bifrost? Did we ever have Bifrost? No.
Yeah, I would put a note that if we take this work on, we should scope it to being also Urchef, because I suspect that some heavy users of Urchef have also hit similar things with what you have connections. I have this partial memory of debugging something like this with a customer. Um,
Have me frame the comment.
we should if this work is picked up, we should make sure we add a similar change to was it 165? Was it 165 is the PR? Similar change to PR 165 in
What's your show?
yeah, in OCR Chef.
Okay. Moving on, bait 6. And we are officially halfway through. Did we not just see this? No, that was policy tags. Okay, sorry.
Let's see, 605.
Yes, sorry. Pull request 605.
Oh,
I will say triage confirmed. At least 10, but try reproducing.
try reduce. Yeah, let's reduce the.
Anything else you'd like to add on this?
No. I think we should just get to the bottom of it and find. I mean, I guess the other question is who is this affecting today?
Right. I'm going to just put that as a paragraph to be prioritized. Because there isn't like a mention of another ticket or where it came from. It's just that this is probably created from some call or something.
Okay, so we're just leaving a link in place.
Okay.
I mean, this is a very easy. This is going to be a. I suspect this is.
Good first issue.
It's a good first issue. It's an easy drive-by sort of fix.
Oh, sorry, not status.
I
Does
think
its size.
there's some. It's one of those ones that if you're doing work in the omnibus code or the chef server code, we probably should just pick it up while we're there.
Almost feel like leaving this open. Like
Yeah.
maybe to come to it sometime. Moving on to 603.
So apparently it's still a problem. However,
So it was a problem that we have triaged, though.
yeah, it was accepted as minor in 2016, right?
Oh, okay. No, wait. This is a
Oh, wait a second.
bug that got. This is not a pull request. Oh,
Um,
I'm gonna close this with.
I'm
Yeah.
going to say the RabbitMQ Sayonara. We don't this well that we really we're planning to basically the same thing you
Yeah. We will be taking it. Oh, thank you.
I have to leave for a few minutes, but I'll be right back.
Sure.
Thanks.
We'll be
yeah.
getting
I
rid
mean,
of.
I just copy pasted the verbiage from your last one.
Remember where that was. Oh, I would have closed it. Yeah, no. Take me very long to find it. I know there was a near future RabbitMQ and roadmap. Let's see, sort unclosed by date, maybe. Oh, closing is not. This one, maybe. This one was RabbitMQ.
Yeah. There you go. That's the one.
I feel like this is a good statement to make note of. So,
What sorting are you using?
I was going by date. Or maybe I've put something here. Oh. Thank God. Hey, this is updated. Gather log script is updated. Let's see what it includes now. I
Okay.
think it does. So I think I'm going to close it.
Yeah, I would close it.
Yeah. And looks like does oh, should I remove the label when I close this?
Yeah.
So one, oh, sorry. To open it in a new tab. I know we run this in our integration test pipeline with IPv6, and I'm certain this works.
Okay.
I could verify, like let's see, I will go with try reproducing, and I'll keep this open, not close it just yet. Or if we have a minute, I can really go look real quick. So if I go to build kite, integration tests, then I go to IPv6. So we run, yeah, there is a gather logs test. See, begin gather log test, sudo chef server cattle gather logs, and this is on this instance. So if you looked at standalone upgrade IPv6 Ubuntu and clicked on follow there, might have to expand a group just before uploading artifacts. And the last thing there is running of the gather logs test, and this is successful. So I'm going to close this.
Yay, closed because it was fixed.
Yeah.
Nice.
It seems like the right thing, right? That's what
Mhm.
he's talking about. Yeah. Looks like this. That versions using. Yeah, we get rid of this. Okay, installing 12.20 on Ubuntu 15.0. Do we support Ubuntu 15.0? Yeah, like,
Uh,
no, we do 16 and 18.
yeah.
It is end of life, right?
Yes.
End of life to 2016. So this is not something we are going to fix.
Nope.
Um,
And yeah, and then by the time 1604 rolled around, System D was chosen. So
keyword. Sorry for my own case. What did I say? We don't support this. I don't think I want to ping him.
yeah.
Um, closing sensory. Do not is that the right thing to say, or should I say since Ubuntu 15 um, is EOL?
I would say was never a supported Ubuntu 15 was never a supported platform and is now EOL.
Yeah.
And
Okay. Chef server kernel reindex reports error if it's a non-default port for Nginx. This is a lot of interest for me. Yeah, this is of a lot of interest to me. I'm gonna say try reproducing. I'm going to say status consider for next release to be prioritized. Where was the this is in did we have like a this is important flag? Should I put priority? It's not critical,
no, this
but
is
I don't
yeah,
want to lose it. How
yeah.
like how do I bring it up?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like
Okay, maybe this is good enough, and I just make a note of it in my notes. Okay. All right. Moving on. 593.
let's see. This looks like we should. Oh,
Should fix this, right? I would like to bring this up as well.
yeah. We should verify it's still a thing. We might have.
Can I add that by default now?
Yeah, that would be my only thing is if we fixed this already. I'm just taking a real quick look, see if I can find it.
Yep, that would be awesome.
This is 593, right? Yeah. Private chef libraries, private chef WB.
Oh,
I mean, it's, there we are.
we have not included LB internal in that list. It looks like it has Redis LB, use chef backend members, data collector, and required recipe. So we should add LB internal to that list there. Seems like a small change, right? Here we have a list of keys there, right? Yeah, and I certainly don't see LB internal there. So this is, I'm gonna say this pretty much still exists.
Yeah.
And it's pretty small, I would say.
Well, the question I have is what is the state of LB internal as a thing at all? Did we leave it in?
It is in the current master. Like it is among the list of things we have to generate the hash for. But let me see if we, yeah, it seems it's pretty much
still,
embedded. Yeah.
Yeah, it's LB underscore internal. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Go with good first issue for this. Chef server install versus uninstall is a time bomb. Oh God.
Yeah, this one. The naming is awkward, in that people may accidentally remove all of Chef server when they really meant to. Pardon me. They meant to remove a single plugin.
Oops. Sorry. Also, I think we should probably stop after this. It's 1:09. Since we got started, let's just finish this one up. Yeah, I agree with this. I'm gonna go with packaging. Sure, should do it. Do it sometime.
Is it a time bomb or more of a landmine?
There might be some amount of investigation required here.
Yeah, a little investigation, but mostly we need to.
That's the old label bar.
I mean, it's. I think it's a relatively straightforward change.
Yeah.
I think the main issue is just like, all right, what names do we choose? and what do we,
Correct.
what do we
How
break?
do we uniformly? Yeah, correct. And all the documentation that will be involved, right? Once this
Yeah.
change goes through. So it's a more like spread out change than anything. Okay, I think that was good. We are officially in 500 issues now.
Nice.
That's great. That's really great.
Yeah.
Uh, cool. I'm gonna stop the recording. Thank you for your time.